my mother told me at age 5. That look in the mirror and ask yourself, what have you accomplished today? And I will edit my mother's advice for African young professionals, that ask yourself on a daily basis, what did I do today for Africa? And if you're not satisfied with the answer, don't see it. Over the last, I'll say, from the post-colonial era, where we had political independence to present, we've had this big issue of brain drain, where our best and our brightest leave our shores and go overseas. And so when you come to these, when you come to these shores overseas and you see our best and our brightest coming together, pooling their capital together, their brains and their creativity together, and to say, how can we work together to effect change on the continent? I think it's a powerful signal to the transformation that's coming on the continent.
How do you define leadership?
I believe everyone has leadership within them, right? And the traditional ideas of leadership might be the guy behind the podium, giving a great speech and everyone else looking in. But I don't think of leadership that way. I think of leadership as being different. And I get my inspiration for leadership from scripture. The scene where, right before the Last Supper, Jesus washes the feet of his disciples, which was crazy given the context. And they resisted and they said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm your Lord, I'm your master, but I wash your feet. And so that set an example and a theme of servant leadership, where being a leader was not him walking around, standing in front of crowds, just preaching and having his miracles. But his leadership, the greatest leadership he exhibited, was servant leadership. It was him going on his knees, taking water, and washing the feet of his disciples. And for me, that's my inspiration for leadership. My leadership is, how do I serve?
What message do you have for the African young professional when it comes to leadership?
The message I have for them is, we all have a role to play, right? For some of us, it is moving back and building world-class businesses. For others, it's moving back and performing your services if you're a doctor. For others, it's going into public service and being a public servant. But those are not the only options. Even if you're here, even if you're far away, there's a role you can play. There's something you can do. There's a child you can mentor. There's an organization you can support. There's a way in which you can use the greatest distribution platform we have in the world today, the internet, to magnify and amplify your impact. My dream is one day, you and I, our grandchildren, will look up to us, sitting on our laps and say, Grandma, you mean Africa used to be poor? May the idea of African being poor will be just a historical relic, that our grandchildren will say, wow, that used to be us.